Back again with the Millennium trash that we love so much. This episode, we're looking at The Bagman. Not to be confused with the 2014 Crispin Glover film of the same name, this is a 2002 direct-to-video horror film directed by Beverly Beaton, who hasn't done much of anything really. The film stars Stephanie Beaton, I'm guessing a sister to the director maybe. Together these two have done a few direct-to-video films such as Tales from the Grave and Evil in the Bayou. Not much of anything though still. I mean, she must have some sort of following though, Stephanie Beaton, because her name appears in big letters at the front of the box. This looks like it's not going to be great, and judging by the reviews online, yeah, I think I'm right. So let's try and get through this one, shall we?
Randy, that's enough!
No! Randy, for the love of God, stop!
Sue? Sue!
The film starts with a bunch of adults dressed as kids who are bullying another kid until they eventually kill him by putting a bag on his head and drowning him in a puddle. We then cut to 10 years later, and the kidults are now dressed as adults and getting on with their daily lives. They meet up back in their hometown, but they keep getting killed off one by one. Who could be the killer? It's a bare bones plot, and you've seen it 1,000 times before in much better films. It's I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's even things like Eric's Revenge or Oliver Twisted, stuff that we've covered in the past. We've seen this played out 1,000,000 times. But this one doesn't really do much with it. There's very little suspense or intrigue. It just slowly plods along for about 80 minutes and then just abruptly ends.
Oh my God, what happened?
Margaret freaked her out a little too much.
Well, I didn't expect her to pass out.
Yeah, I know he did. Oh, Kirky boy told me. I mean, he's been dying to drag him over here. But anyway, no, Margaret, I'm not going to a cemetery. I have too much work to do tonight.
I mean, I'm sure just by looking at some of the clips you can tell that no one in this can even slightly act. It does lead to some funny line reads here and there, and I was chuckling every now and again. But unfortunately the characters are also very unlikable, meaning there's no one really to root for in this outside of the killer, and when the killer's barely in it, it can get very, very boring very quickly. Now there is gore in this. It's minimal though. It's not the worst when we do get it, but I've seen a hell of a lot better. Joe Castro, this is not. There's also some nudity in here too, and it is very, very silly. Sex scene on a gas hob. Ridiculous stuff. Now, the killer, the Bagman himself, is unfortunately one of the most pathetic and unintimidating killers I think I've ever seen in a slasher film. He's barely in it, for starters, and when he is, he just sort of ambles about. They try and do this thing where they're giving him Freddy Krueger one-liners, but they give him like 2, so when he does say one, it just comes across as a little bit like jarring, a little bit like, well, where did that come from? The mask, the bag mask, isn't very scary either. It's very cartoony, and it might just be how it's shot as well. It doesn't make use of shadows much or anything like that, so you're just seeing this bag with a smiley face on it, and it just looks a little bit ridiculous. And finally with him, the face reveal is not worth the 80 minutes it takes to get to it. Outside of this, it's pretty boringly made, a lot of static shots with not much going on, and the music is monotonous, repetitive, and very forgettable.
Come on, it'll be fun!
Oh yeah? Well, it seems awful funny that since you were at the cemetery, everyone has disappeared.
Be rational, Vincent.
I would only consider this to be light Millennium trash. It does have some elements of what we usually look for, such as shot on DV, bad acting, early noughties like fashion sense and sets, and we've also got like some big bombastic cheap effects thrown in. But it's missing what is usually at the core of Millennium trash, which is the angst and the edge. Probably the biggest element that's Millennium trash is the opening titles, which has got big explosions and bombastic effects mixed in with some terrible fonts. I'll show some clips in the next clip section. So, let's talk about the director, shall we? Whoever that is. And I know what you're probably saying, well, you told us at the beginning it was Beverly Beaton. So, what you on about? Well, I thought it was Beverly Beaton. IMDb, Letterboxd, they all class it as Beverly Beaton. So, what else am I supposed to think? But then, watching the film, it gets to in the opening and the end credits, it credits the director as somebody called Rae Fitzpatrick. Now, I've done some more research online and I cannot find anything on this Rae Fitzpatrick person. I have got no idea where this name came from. It could be a pseudonym for Beverly Beaton, or all the information online could be incorrect. I have got no idea. If anyone has any information, please do let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know. A little bit of a mystery with this one.
Side of the road.
You know, Randy, you're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Okay, time for the print, and it's not great really. So it's in 4:3, and it's pretty low quality, pretty pixelated and blurry. Also, it's quite blown out. It's definitely not been colour corrected right. The lights are very light, and it all just looks very washed out. On top of this, the audio's pretty bad. It peaks the mic quite a lot. There's a lot of clipping, and then at the other end of that, it's completely inaudible and just mixed really badly. It's like on the cusp of being watchable. Not great at all. And on the disc, we get chapter select and Hard Gore trailers, and that is it. This might be the least we've had on one of these discs yet. Okay, time for the case, and it's fine, I guess. It reads alright, all the info seems correct. The runtime is off by 3 minutes, and the screenshots are a little confusing though. But that's about it. This is another film that should have been a 15, but has been upped to an 18 because of the trailers, and you can really tell with the film, to be honest. It's also another one of those garish white spine releases, which I really don't like. The whole thing, the whole package for this just screams Poundland trash to me, really. Overall then, this is not worth your time at all. It's boring, it's cheap, and outside of a few funny lines here and there and a little bit of gore, it has nothing to offer. It is pretty worthless as far as films go. Now, I still think The Attendant is worse than this, but this is very, very close. I would definitely not recommend this film at all. If for some reason you do want to own this worthless piece of history, then this and the Shriek collection is pretty much your lot as far as releases go, as usual with some of these terrible films. But if you are going to get it, please don't spend too much on it. It is not worth much money at all, if any money really. If someone pays you to take it, then definitely take it. So, really bad, really, one of the worst this episode, definitely one of the worst. And next episode could easily be more of the same, or it could be pure gold. I have no way of knowing with this, but the name has made me chuckle a few times. Next episode, we are going to be checking out Ghoul School.